Namaskar, dear devotees and friends, and today, Wednesday evening, we will study the Panchama Veda. So, let us begin as usual. Tavo kathamritam tapta jivanam kabipiriritam kalmushapaham sravana mangalam srimadatatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna has come to Calcutta staying with the Balaram Bose to celebrate the car festival. Next day will be the car festival, so he is there, and when he is there in the Balaram Bose house, so obviously all the Calcutta devotees, they have also come and they are talking with Sri Ramakrishna, and wherever he is, always great joy. So, those devotees, those who are having some time, they have come and gathered. Now, one person that we have already discussed in one of our classes, the one person who was asking, so what are the desires of those who are incarnations of God? But it is another little silly question. So, he was not aware who are the incarnations whom one can call as incarnation. So, the Sri Ramakrishna jokingly he said, I find that I have not got rid of all my desires. Now, everybody started laughing and he said, what is the desire? I saw a person with a shawl and I wanted that type of shawl for me too. So, the people are laughing, Balaram also smiling and said, oh, then you will be born again just for a shawl? So, people are laughing. Now, so if we read in between the line as they call it, the Sri Ramakrishna giving the answer, he said, I find that I have not got rid of all desires. Now, question was about the incarnations of God. Now, he is mentioning that that does it mean that he is giving the indication that he is an incarnation of God? This is the thing. Suddenly, the moment he said, immediately he said, I am not. That means he is giving the indication he is the incarnation of God. So, this is, and who are the incarnations we have already discussed and how they work. This is over. Now, let us go to the para where a person dressed in ochre robe entered the room and greeted the master. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, privately he was in the habit of criticizing Sri Ramakrishna. Then Sri Ramakrishna, when Balaram, seeing him, he laughed. Now, when you see the picture of Balaram Bose, it seems that he is a very devoted person and not of that light-minded, light-mooded person. But still, when he saw him, he was laughing. Why? He didn't disclose, but Sri Ramakrishna understood it. He looked at the person and immediately could read his mind. He said to Balaram, never mind, let him say that I am a cheat. So, it is very, very difficult to understand the avatara particularly. Difficult to understand the holy people, and particularly Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, who was behaving so natural, normal, humble way that it was almost impossible. Even today, some people when they come and look at his picture, they say, oh, he was a great sage, we can accept him up to that, but he is not God. So, this is the mistake that we always do. And I think that last time we quoted from the Bhagavad Gita, the 7th chapter, it says, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapatyate Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. It is very difficult to find a person whose mind is pure and he can understand the purity in another person, and particularly in the avatara. The God, when incarnated, he is not having any desire. but he is living, behaving just like any ordinary person. So obviously that mistake they always do, we always do. So this is the way we have to understand. Bahunam janma namante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlava. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was visiting different the houses in Calcutta, and he is talking with people, and people could see him, and just ordinary people could see him, but contemporary people, is very, very difficult. Afterwards, when we hear about him, learn about him, read about him, and then we can compare from the other scriptures, these are the traits of a holy person. These are the qualities of an incarnation. We see all those in Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. All the good qualities that has been listed by the Bhagavad Gita, and we find that each and every word of that true in the life of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. So we can naturally understand that he is an incarnation and he is God, and it has become easy. But in those days, they were living with Sri Ramakrishna, but it's just like an ordinary person, he is talking and moving. So naturally, how they will know? This person couldn't. And sometimes some people, they used to criticize. It was not necessary, but they have the habit of criticizing. Anything good, they will criticize. Recently, one person here, sometimes the people will be writing some books criticizing the very famous people like Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna, and you know that this is pure business, and they know that they are intentionally criticizing. They don't have anything about the philosophy or any spiritual life. They just do that to earn some money. How? The moment and they will be giving a very catchy title of the book. And people naturally, they will go and read, and some people who are very negative, they will be reading that and they will be excited. Look, they are criticizing. Very negative type of people are there. And some people are so enthusiastic, they will be forwarding some of the quotations they never wrote to me or anyone, but now they are very active. They are quoting from that page or taking the snap from that and then sending, read, there it is Vivekananda. Here, the Euro American, went to, just because at the back the writer's name, some university's name is there, so they think that he is a great. What is his life? What he knows or she knows about the spiritual life? Do they know what is meditation? Do they know how much when one is trying to control the emotions, the mind, how much they fight? Nothing. They don't have any idea. Their mind is bogged down with the body, and then just because they know the language, English language, they will be using the language in that way and then publish a book. And suppose 10,000 copies are sold, their purpose is done. Whether it is hampering and damaging and all these things, and Hinduism naturally very another quiet type of religion, they will never go to threat them, and that's okay. So this type of people are there, not now. At the time of Sri Ramakrishna also they were there. So the person, apparently he is putting on a Gerua grab. That means he is a sannyasi, he likes to show that, but he will be criticizing Sri Ramakrishna. Why you should criticize? Because Sri Ramakrishna is not doing anything against you, but still people, they don't think that other people should appreciate, accept them. So that jealousy. And when your mind is full of jealousy, how can you say that you are a religious person? Up to this. And then Sri Ramakrishna is laughing. Now, without caring for that, Sri Ramakrishna talking to Tejas Chandra. Teja Chandra, he is asking, I send for you so often. Why don't you come? If you practice meditation and prayer, it will make me happy. Friends, again, if you practice meditation and prayer, it will make me happy. Is it only for that particular person, Ramakrishna is telling? No, it is for all of us, for eternity. The God is happy when someone is trying to withdraw the mind from the sense objects. All our sense organs, the 5 sense organs, it goes out and get connected with the 5 objects and bring all the information and makes our mind turbulent. And we are away from the original, the conception, and we think all these waves that is going on one after another, that is the life, that is the mind. No. So that's why those who are trying to withdraw the mind, that means meditation, only through one word we can understand. When they try that, yoga chitta vritti nirodha, the very first the aphorism of the Yoga Sutra, the great Patanjali Muni, the Yoga Sutra, it says chitta vritti nirodha. Just that much, even half a line we can say. You have to control your mind. Chitta vritti. Vritti means the waves of the thoughts. How? By withdrawing the sense organs from the sense objects. Then there is no flow of thoughts. Then what will happen? The mind will become tranquil. The moment the mind becomes tranquil, and in the Yoga Vasishta it says, when you can kill your mind, the same sentence, the words Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna also used, we will come to that. You have to kill the mind. This is a very strong word they are using. Killing the mind, stealing the mind, making no activities on the mind. A mind is thoughts, flow of thoughts. And flow of thoughts, where from the flow come? From the objects. How the objects are influencing us? Through our sense, the senses. And when you are not allowing your senses to go out and to get connected with the sense objects, but it's quiet. So that exactly Bhagavan said, I am happy when you pray and meditate. If you practice meditation and prayer, it will make me happy. Who is Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna? The God himself. And if we try to practice meditation and if we pray to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, to God, then God will be happy with us. See, that's why the Panchama Veda, I always say, every line it is helping. It's not telling the Hindus, it is not telling these and that religion, nothing like that. Practice only withdrawing the senses from the sense objects and pray to God. So when we go to church, what we do? We never discuss about the market and the weather, politics. We always pray to God. And when we are looking at that particular, in that particular church or the mosque or the synagogue or the temple, to that God or goddess, and our mind is focused on that, our mind is becoming pure, God is happy. So meditation and prayer, that makes the God happy. I look on you as my own. That is why I sent for you. We get the call, all of us. And sometimes someone will say, there is a program, let us go. That is the call of God. And sometimes you will be receiving some invitation from the ashrama, the call of God. Sometimes you yourself will feel, oh, for a long period of time I didn't go. And when you go to a temple and just enjoy the celebration, and it is this good, nothing wrong, but the philosophy is also necessary, where the discussions are going on, where you can quietly sit and meditate. That is also very, very important. Otherwise we go and then we enjoy the company and then children are playing and the ladies are gossiping among themselves. The gentleman is sitting in one corner and discussing about the politics or something. But we visit a temple. It is socializing. Instead of going to a club, you go to a temple, but the same thing. The socializing only. There's a good, at least instead of club, and then you are going to the temple, that much. But that is not the devotion. That is not the spiritual practice. You have to understand that. Just visiting some place and the music is going on and all that, already our minds are agitated. And then we go and give in the name of religion, we are encouraging that agitation and all the sounds and musics and talking and mixing with people and going for the prasad. That I don't know, may God bless all that. But the thing is, you have to be quiet. You have to be understanding what actually I am trying to do. You have to go within yourself. You have to judge your own mind. You have to pray to God with tearful eyes. And unless you are calm, unless you are listening to the talk, unless you are reading the holy books, unless you are left to yourself, how can you do that? So Sri Ramakrishna, in this Gospel of the Sri Ramakrishna that we are reading, is the English, that page 799, then we find in the 2 lines, first one should have this, and second one should meditate and pray. There was a marriage ceremony at his home and he got leave from his office for 10 days. The Master Mahashaya, now as he was telling, when Sri Ramakrishna said, hey, why didn't you come? Then he said that I am so busy. Master Mahashaya is telling. But he has taken leave from his office to attend him. So that means in the social life you have so many responsibilities, but at the same time, if you get the call of God and if you can luckily answer to that, your life will be blessed. But mostly we can't understand that. With the God himself in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna asking him to come, they are not coming. What to talk about when we send out the flyers and invite people to come? They feel, oh, there are so many social responsibilities. So today this thing, that thing is there, so they avoid. Of course, their life will continue, they like it, let them go. But those who have understood the futility of this so-called life, and they want to understand the true knowledge about the spirituality, they must not only read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, but also try to imbibe the spirit, the teachings that the Lord in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is giving. And then he is telling, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, well, you say you have no leisure. You told me just now that you were going to renounce the world. Now, sometimes some people, they think that they will renounce the world. And sometimes that you are living in the house and so many responsibilities, these, that, okay. So they like to just think in that way. But that is not very strong. The one person, he was asking me, that shall I renounce the world? Our usual answer is that when you are asking in that way, that means you are not ready to renounce. When that renunciation, that force comes, never care about that. What is going to happen to me to next day? We never cared about that. Just renounce. So that is the renunciation, that is the call of God, the love for God, to give away all the social life and then live the mendicant monastic life is really, really very difficult, and only a courageous person can do that. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning like this. He said, then he was telling, then Narayan, he said, that the Master Mahashaya said to us one day that this world is a wilderness. Then the Sri Ramakrishna was happy. The Master Mahashaya said like that, When our devotees also understand that, and when they are discussing that to the other people, that spreads the message of God. And that particular person, maybe a teacher, maybe a doctor, maybe an engineer, maybe whatever, and in their position, when they are meeting the relatives and the friends, if they are discussing like this, they are also helping in God's mission. But they should understand, they themselves should practice the spirituality, meditation, prayer, and sincerely. Then only they will understand what to say and what not to say. Otherwise, whatever they will say, they won't be able to give a proper picture of the spiritual life, and particularly the Vedanta, and particularly the Sri Ramakrishna's ideology. Because here rituals are very less, philosophy is more. The thrust is on the practice. The idea that you must practice. The why you are going on listening and reading the same idea when you are going to practice it. So naturally, the Sri Ramakrishna ideology in the Ramakrishna Mission Vedanta Society, the thrust is on the practice. And just to make some people happy and going on telling something, behaving with a smiling face, that is also some type of drama that most of the people that do to become very popular. No, it is nothing like that. It is straight and very truthful. So this is this. People will be coming and please place your hand on my head. Who am I? You have to go to God. So Sri Ramakrishna is talking in that way. Please tell the other also. He is giving some of the references, that the stories that he told about the futility, the wilderness of this world. He is mentioning the Sri Master Mahashaya. Why don't you tell it to the other juniors, the younger people? Sri Ramakrishna partook the food. It was known he took the food and he had offered to the family deity Jagannath. They were from the Odisha, our Balaram Bose. So their main deity, the family deity, was Jagannath, Prabhu Jagannath. In the Bengali families, the Jagannath, of course, they like it very much. Majority of the people, they know, they worship, but sometimes it is Kali, it is Durga, it is Shiva, they prefer that. As in the UP, it will find the Ramachandra and the Krishna, but in Bengal, it is mostly the Shakti. So the Kali, Durga, they always worship in that way, and Shiva, that is more popular. And at the same time, Jagannath Mahaprabhu is also there, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to stay in the Puri. He used to worship Jagannath. And the story of Jagannath is very fascinating, and the purity that there, if you go, so it was also popular. But particularly this family, as because they were having the connections with the Odisha, so their family deity was Jagannath. They used to offer the food to the Jagannath, and then they used to take the prasad. Sri Ramakrishna, he was very happy with that. And the master often used to say that the food at Balaram's house was very pure. Afterwards, he rested a while. So why food is pure? They are offering to God, but with no prayer. Sometimes some people, they will be doing some puja, special puja, but with lot of prayer. And that is why the final rites, the Hindus at the time, they call it Shraddha. The Shraddha, that time they offer all the food that to offer to the God and to the mains, and that offering is always mixed with prayer. All the scenes that they did, that must distribute when the people are taking this prasad, this offered food, let they also share all the wrong things that the person who have died, let it be distributed. So this type of thing, the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, it is better to avoid the Shraddha Anna. Anna means the rice, the cooked food. That is the only thing, only time he said in negative, otherwise there is nothing. Don't take these, don't eat these, never like that. Is there anything that you like, you do, but only you practice meditation and prayer. That is his. Here he is mentioning the Jagannath Mahaprabhu, that the food was offered to the god and then it was distributed among the devotees without any selfish motive, without anything that let the people share our sin. No, it is nothing like that. So that's why it is pure. He said in that way. Afterwards he rested. Later in the afternoon, Sri Ramakrishna sat with the devotees in the drawing room of Balaram's house. That is still there. The Balaram Bose, they were landlord, they were very rich people. Afterwards they donated that particular house where Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna used to go and visit and stay and spend night also. So that they have given to the Ramakrishna mission. Now it is a center of the Ramakrishna mission, and Balaram Mandir they call it. In the north side of Calcutta is a beautiful house, and the Sri Ramakrishna where he used to take rest, now that has become the shrine. Sri Ramakrishna is the drawing room, Balaram house. Chandababu of the Kartabhaja sect, Chandababu of the Kartabhaja sect, and the witty Brahmin were there. The Brahmin was something of a buffoon. His words made everybody laugh. Sometimes some people are there who can use the words in such a way that people will be laughing. About 6 o'clock, Girish brother Atul and Tejas Chandra brother arrives. Sri Ramakrishna was in Samadhi. Now this is an unique thing in the life of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. The just normal, just like any other person, he was talking with the people and the discussion was going on. Then afterwards he went inside and took the prasad, the lunch. Then he came and he lied down, took some rest, a siesta as they call, a little nap. Then afterwards he got up and then sat and he was meeting with the people. Master Mahashaya constantly with him, going on recording. The new 3-4 people they came. One is the Kartabhaja sect, Chandrababu. Now, what is Kartabhaja? Nowadays, almost extinct. I don't know whether they are there or not, but we don't hear about them. The Kartabhaja was a group of people. They started telling that the Lord, the God, is the Karta. Karta means the doer, the master. And that's because there is no God you can see. So a person who will claim that I am the Karta and I am connected with the God, and the people will go to him, and mostly the ladies, because they are emotional type, they go, and they were not having good names anyway. So for whatever may be the reason, that Kartabhaja, that a person, he claiming that he is the God, connected with the God, and this always happen in the spiritual life. So one must be very, very much careful when choosing a person as his ideal, as his guru, as his master, as his preceptor. So this is the way we have to understand in the spiritual life, and that is the reason one should read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, because it is so clear. Then we will go a few lines, we will understand very simple and very clear idea about God. Now Sri Ramakrishna, as we were discussing, his characteristics were, he was just normal as an ordinary person. Suddenly he is in deep spiritual mood called Samadhi. What is that Samadhi? Those who have already gone through the pages of our Yoga Sutra, they know that Samadhi is the highest mental condition, spiritual condition, highest. Why? because that is the time when one merges with the consciousness. That's called Paramatma. And how it is possible? When one can withdraw the whole mind from the objects, as we were discussing, and always we say like that, the mind is connected with the external objects. Rupa, Rasha, Sabda, Sparsha, Gandha, these are the 5 objects. That is the you can see through the eyes. That's an object. And when we see something, that is called Rupa, that is the form, and naturally we get influenced by that. Rasa, that is the taste. When you are tasting something, we are influenced by that, motivated by that. The sound that we hear through the ear, and the smell that we take, touch also, that gives all the impressions. So these are the objects externally, and we have the machines, 5 machines. It's called the sense organs. They go out, contact with these objects, come back and give the information to the mind. And mind is naturally going on thinking in this way. Those who are, these minds are not very subtle, they should not do all this. So they should try to withdraw and keep the mind calm. And for the sannyasins also, those who are trying to practice spirituality, they should be careful about it. Now this is the way the Sri Ramakrishna in Samadhi. He was sitting with all people. Things were all normal, natural. Suddenly, though he is physically, his body is there, his mind is somewhere else. It is very difficult for ordinary people to understand that, fathom that. That's why they used to doubt, oh, he is doing something maybe miraculous, maybe cheating people. So people used to discuss like that because they don't have any idea of that. When you are criticizing the Jesus, you should reach to that level, the level of Jesus. Then you can criticize Jesus. You are criticizing the scientist, but you don't have any basic idea of science. How dare you to criticize the scientist? How you will know what he is doing? And just because you are thinking in this way, why he should do this, why you should do that. Sometimes we misunderstand the doctors. We think, oh, he was not treating the patient properly. Unless you have the basic idea of the medical science, it is not, you cannot discuss about that or criticize the doctor. The same way, unless and until you have the basic idea, some idea, and particularly in spiritual life, when you are criticizing a personality like Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, their mind, thinking for everyone, seeing the consciousness is everything. And if you read their life, how much they have practiced meditation, withdraw the sense organs. Have you ever practiced that? Have you ever tried? And simply just writing and reading from here and there, and then you are thinking it is all that the cock and bull story, so they are all frauds. No, sir, this is, you have to understand this. Unless you practice, it is not possible. You have every right to criticize, but first you prove that you are up to that. You have done all these practices, then only. Otherwise, simply talking, you are putting yourself in a position where a person is spitting to the sun and that spit come on his own head. You cannot do that. So here the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna in Samadhi, a few minutes later he said, still in the static mood, can one become unconscious by meditating on consciousness? Can one become unconscious by meditating on consciousness? Sometimes people used to say that Sri Ramakrishna has gone mad as because he thinks of God almost 24 hours. And that is the reason. One should be normal. We also, sometimes I also say to some people, understanding their mental situation, condition, that you should be normal. Talk to your friends and then if possible, sometimes go to your relatives and enjoy some games, normal life. Why? They are not ready. And if you just in one go, if you try to practice that today I should realize God, then it will be really, really difficult. You may lose the mental balance. You have to practice it. You know that anyone becoming successful in any field, those who are singers, if you see how long they have practiced, those who are the players, and we go and see how they are playing it as if it's so easy. No, they have practiced it for so many years. And that is why it is becoming easy for them. We go and see the finished product. But how much they have worked on that. Then sometimes we go and see the people, the women, young ladies, the wonderful balances. They practiced a lot. So otherwise it is impossible. Those who are meditating from the beginning of their life, Sri Ramakrishna's biography, those who they have read, they know at the age of 5 itself, 5 or 7, he went into samadhi because his mind was focused. And so many times, so many incidents are there. So he was of that type and he used to practice meditation and never ever got any attachment to this worldly life. Name, fame, physical comfort, nothing. And unless you try that, how can you criticize? If you like the sense objects to enjoy the sense, you can go. And like the famous people, you will be arrested again and the people will be talking. I don't know how these people, they can talk to their children, because the worthless and very shameful blames are coming on them. How their children will feel about them. Oh my God. But they are well off, they are thinking this, I am fine, this is the natural life, and some people are also supporting them. That is the group of people, let them do like that. They live in that, let them do. But if you think that that is not the life, only for a little the sense enjoyments, this human life, no. The spiritual life is completely different. We want joy, ananda, but that ananda, that bliss, that joy is completely different than getting the joy from these objects, worldly objects, is completely different. So Sri Ramakrishna mentioning, can one become unconscious by meditating on consciousness? Can one lose one's mind by thinking of God? Then he himself is giving the idea about the God. He said, God is of the very nature of knowledge. God is knowledge. And what is this knowledge? Knowledge of oneness. When we see many and we differentiate, he is my enemy, he is my friend, he is my relative, he is this, he is that, you are not actually in the path of religion. The God is one. The whole universe that we see is nothing but the manifestation of God only. In any religion if you go, you will find that trying to give the answer to this question, where from this world came, where from we came, the Vedanta is very specific, and they will be asking all the time, who am I? Ko aham, kuto ayat, kaba gati me. These are the 3 questions all the time. The Vedantin are thinking, who am I? Where from have I come? And what is the end of my life? Just death? And then buried or burnt? No, it cannot be. The body has nothing to do with the consciousness. Now there are sometimes, there will be some dolls, and nowadays very developed. From the distance, without any wear, they can control the doll, like the drones and all that. They are behaving just like a conscious being, though there is no human being. But they go, they fly, they take the photo, they send it to the photo to the base. Everything they are doing like a spy. But it's a machine only. But how they are doing? All these intellectual thing that they are doing, only a conscious being can do, but a machine is doing. How it is? Because the conscious being has given that power to that machine. They have developed the machine in such a way, controlling the machine in such a way that conscious person, he is doing or she is doing. And we are thinking the machine is doing. It is not. Someone sitting in corner somewhere, hiding, controlling this and getting all this information. So we have to understand this. The same way, God is the consciousness. And this consciousness is giving, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, God is of the nature of knowledge. He is of the very nature of eternity, purity, consciousness. Then what is God? This is the page 800 of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, and when he is mentioning from the stage of the super connections with the consciousness. He was in samadhi, coming back, coming down and telling to the people. Master Masha is recording. Friends, we may remember, those who know, that when Bhagavan Sri Krishna was delivering Bhagavad Gita and to the Arjuna, and then afterwards when the war was over, everything was normal, the Arjuna wanted to know once more about that knowledge. He said, I cannot. Because that time I was yoga yukta. I was connected with the Supreme Being. And all those things I could say. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he has yoga yukta. He was in samadhi. And now his mind is slowly coming down and he is giving the idea about God. And what is this God? He said it is knowledge. It is eternity. It is purity. It is consciousness. The knowledge, the moment we say knowledge, when the Hindus say knowledge, when the Vedantins say knowledge, the knowledge means the knowledge of the One. Now we use the word knowledge, oh I know, I have knowledge about computer, I have knowledge about something, these and it is nothing like that. The knowledge of the oneness. The knowledge means the jnana, they use the word Sanskrit word, jnana is the understanding. Though we see so many varieties in this world, so many millions and trillions of varieties, but everything is having one common thing, there is consciousness. And sometimes the trees, of course nowadays people are aware that they are also conscious. Even the stones are having the consciousness, but they cannot express it. So we think, oh, this is inert. Everything has the consciousness. Without the consciousness, nothing can sustain, nothing can be there. Even this body is a gross, but even it has the consciousness inside, and so we are utilizing it. The consciousness, the knowledge means the knowledge of one. When you know one, we know everything. You know, in one of the Upanishads, a great person is a householder, very successful householder. Not that when we are not successful, cannot run the family, we don't have the money, then we become a sannyasi. Not like that. He was a great successful householder, completed his all duties. After that, instead of going to the pub and then playing these cards, and he came to a rishi and he was inquiring about the spiritual life. And he asked, Kasminnu bhagavo vigyate sarvamidam vigyatam bhavatiti? The beautiful way he is asking. Who is asking? Is a very successful householder. Kasminnu Bhagavo Vigyate. Bhagavo means, O Venerable Sir, can you please tell me, by knowing one, I like to know everything. See, that means he was having the background. He knew that if I go to know individual thing, it is impossible, because it is you cannot count, so many numbers are there, so many varieties are there. So he is asking, by knowing one, I like to know everything. Can you tell me that? The Rishi is answering in a very unique way. He said, Dve vidye veditavye itihasmayat brahmavido vadanti. They are humble. They never claim that I am telling you, that I am also a Brahmagyani. They never mention like that. Brahmagyani, those who were what they have said, I have also realized that, but he is not mentioning that. In a humble way he said, those who have realized, they say there are two types of knowledge. Paracha, aparacha. Paravidya, aparavidya. And what is aparavidya? Paravidya, then there is explaining over there. All these, and this is the beauty of the Hinduism. Sometimes some people, they think only their book is the God, and they will go and kill people, living people, that they have said something against their book, or they have done some harm to their book. Oh, the book is nothing. Here it says, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Chanda, Niruktam, Yotishamiti, all they are lower knowledge. Even the Vedas. Hinduism is based on Veda. It is a Vaidika dharma. And we worship Veda, but at the same time we know the Veda, the book, is not the final object. We have to reach to the God. It is like the map. We take the help of the map to reach to a place, from one place to another place. After reaching to the destination, we don't need that map. Sometimes we can keep it for the use of the next person if he likes, or just to throw it. Similarly, all the religious books, they are holy books, no doubt, but they are not the object. Object is just knowledge. That books are mentioning about something, and when we come like that, come to know about that, then we practice as they have instructed. This way you should practice. We practice. And after the practice, where we reach, that is called knowledge. The yaya tad adhigamyate. What is that? That knowledge is the supreme knowledge by which one knows that one has become everything. So, the Veda, they say, by knowing one, you will know everything. What is that knowledge? One is the consciousness. But Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning like this, as a God. What is that God? Conception of God means knowledge, knowledge of oneness. Then eternity, another conception. We think that this is, but everything changes. Anything that changes, even the sun, even the Sri Ramachandra saw the sun. All the rishis, they saw the same sun that we are seeing, sun and the moon. But even then a day will come, the sun will never be there. So it cannot be that eternity. Eternity is a complete conception, it never changes. Purity. Why? There is no desire. The purity means no desire for these worldly objects. The moment there is a plan in the game that I should get something, no, for sure, they are not religious people. You know that in the politics, in the business, they always use something to get their profit. But that is not religion. Some people, they will go on making the shrine and temple everywhere. Why? Because in the Hinduism, if you have a temple, people will go, they will donate, and they will get a lot of money from there. It is not that I am devoted to that God. I just utilize, oh, these people, they love this God. It's okay. Now make a temple over there. And we give the employment to 2-3 people. They are the Pandits. They will be there worshipping. And whatever the donations are coming, 25% I give to them and 75% my profit is a business. They are not devotee. And some of the political people, they will be using the name of God, and then the emotion of the people they will utilize and then get the vote. He will become the ruler. That is his. He is not a devotee. Now, we have to understand that shall we go for these people who are utilizing the pure name of God for their own benefit and accept them as our guru? Then you have to suffer. So that is why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning over here. Then Sri Ramakrishna said to the witty Brahmin, the Brahmin is to make cut jokes and make fun and people used to laugh. He thought that is the life. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, why do you waste your time with these frivolous jokes about insignificant worldly things? Direct your mind to God. If a man can calculate about salt, he can also calculate about sugar candy. Sri Ramakrishna is giving a unique idea. If a man is successful in his professional life, that means his mind is concentrated. The same mind, when he is turning towards the God, immediately he will get the God realization. That's why sometimes some professors, I know one, the gentleman, he was Mr. Mukherjee, and he was the pioneer of the rocket science and all that. So he was a great devoted person, and when he used to meditate, oh, that was something to see. Even the monks and brahmacharis, they never could meditate in that way. He was a scientist. His mind was focused on something to find out, and he was the Prime Minister of India, the Indira Gandhi, used to believe him so much that they took us. We were brahmacharis, and he took us to show all the different places where they were planning to develop the rocket, etc. India was that time the first developing the rocket. So we were curious to know what is this and how it happens. He took us to the laboratories. We couldn't understand much, but we saw the place. And people, we are all tourists visiting those places, but they never turned to us. All those, the scientists, men and women, focused on their work. That means the mind focused on something, if it turned towards God, success will be there. It is mind only. When I focus the mind to science, maybe chemistry, maybe physics, maybe mathematics, if the same mind goes to God, it will be successful. That's why Swamiji and the Rakhal Maharaj, the Raja Maharaj, and Swami Brahmanandaji, they used to say, if one can dress a vegetable properly, he can meditate well. So one can cook properly, he can meditate well, because the same mind. When it's cooking, 100% mind is there. Driving, 100% mind is there. But those who are all the time flittering, everywhere the same mind will be working, and they won't be successful anywhere. So we have to train the mind. Then the Brahmin smiling is telling, please attract me. Then as we say, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, this is also a very important point. What can I do? Sometimes we pray to God, but here the God is telling, what can I do? Everything depends on your effort. Your mind is your own. Give up this trifling buffoonery and go forward towards God. Time is so short. So that's why he is mentioning, I have to decide that I am going to realize God. And the God and God's creation are two different things. If I choose God, then I should have to withdraw my mind from the God's creation. And I have to give it to the God. Here, obviously, we have to discuss about the karma yoga. Those who are in the worldly life, they have their responsibilities, then what they will do? And that is called the karma yoga. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna is very nicely mentioning Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. You must remember me, and then you should do your worldly duties. So that is a different way. And here, let us, the Brahmin, there is no end to this path. Now, this is what the Brahmin, he is mentioning. There is no end to this path. Path of God, path of realization. Most of us, we do not know what is God. Most of us, we do not know actually what we want. What is God realization? Now, this is the line I will read, and I will stop over here. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, where you find peace, that is the end. So, what is the ultimate goal of spiritual life? Peace. When they say, some people they say there is no end to it. But here, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, very clear, where you find peace, there is the end. Now, some of you, those who are listening to me, and if you know the biography and or the life of Ma Sharadamani Devi, in one of the conversations she told, if you want peace, my child, that means peace is the goal, happiness is the goal, the bliss is the goal. And what is God realization? Santosha, contentment. We always think God realization means, and that is a wrong way, and hundreds of people they will be giving the talk on the God is, power is coming this way, that way. These are all very, very shallow knowledge. God means the contentment. Sometimes people will say, one gentleman came and he was sitting over here and he was not talking to me. We remain busy. So I told, sir, do you like to say something? You know, you can read my mind. I told, I don't have time to read your mind. Please say something. If I know, I will answer, or otherwise we will meet some other time. Thank you. So these sometimes queer ideas that immediately the religious people means they will understand my future, my past and my mind. Nothing like that. It is possible for some people, the yogis they do, but what is God realization? God realization means that person is full of joy and happiness because he doesn't want anything of this world. If somebody is criticizing, okay, he is criticizing. If somebody is praising, okay, they are praising, it is good. So this is the way they live. So what is that? When that person said, there is no end to this path in the pursuit of God realization, Sri Ramakrishna very clearly mentioned, where you find peace, there is the end. So sometimes some people, they serve the ashramas, the temples and the religious organizations, but they don't know actually what they are searching for. Many people, they become monks and nuns. Some of the words that we always say, and we pray, we cry, but we do not know it is the peace, the joy, the happiness. How it is possible? When your ego is not there, when you adjust with other people, when you don't have any demand, then the peace will come. Thank you, friends. Up to this, we will continue in the next. If there is any question, we will ask you.
Maharaj, we have a couple questions today. First question is from Virendra. Virendra is asking, Pranam Maharajji, how to become desirefully desireless? And he is then saying a statement, We can cry only in front of Sri Sri Thakur.
Hmm.
There is a dissatisfaction in me. We cannot perform devotional rituals.
So, Virendra, this is first thing you have to understand. So, what are the desires? Then, as a householder, suppose you are a householder, I do not know you. Suppose you are a householder, you are a married person, that means you have a responsibility to take care of your family, your wife and children. You must do that with great attention, with great devotion. But as because you are trying to be detached from this world, so you must think that this is my responsibility I am doing, but I am not attached to this. When the children will grow up, when they will go out and settle, when the wife will also, you should also keep something, some money to protect your, support your wife, when she is becomes elderly, and that much. Then you give your whole mind to God. At this moment, don't think that you are not praying, you are praying, but you must also know your responsibility, then there will be no doubt, no problem. Thank you.
Second question is by Harsh. He is asking, Maharaj, how do I develop intense renunciation to the point that I don't care about any social obligations?
The horse, you know that as I was telling, it comes automatically. The calculation you cannot make it. So if you calculate that I will first do this and then will do that, so I don't think it comes. But suppose you have some responsibility, like you have the mother or the only father, and you are the only child to take care of them, and then you must talk to in such a way, you must prepare in such a way so that when you come out and renounce the world, they will get all those properties, all those money, and somebody will be there to take care of them. So, suppose the sannyasa means the death. Suppose something happens suddenly to you, God forbid, then how your parents are going to survive? Same way, if you become a monk, not that you are going to die, you can keep touch with them, you can take care of them from distance. At many of the children they are doing nowadays, working in the far away places, they are also careful about their parents. So that way, but if you are married, then you cannot become the monk of the Ramakrishna order. You have to take responsibility, complete your responsibility as the husband and father, and then after the retirement, you can withdraw the mind and dedicate it completely 100% to God. Thank you.
Maharaj, next question is from Vishwapriya. They are asking, Pranam Maharaj, how does one find peace in one's professional work?
Oh, the great question. The peace in professional work, this is very difficult because you are there in the professional life, you are not alone, because you are in the office, you have a boss and you have some other people, and naturally, though they are colleagues, but they are not of your own. There will be cutthroat, the competitions are going on. So what you should do, that you should be very much clear to yourself that whatever best possible for me, I have done. I have not hidden anything, but whatever best possible for me to do to complete this particular project, I have done, and you should be happy, whether they like it or not, whether they criticize you or not, but you should be clear to yourself, and that is the secret to become happy in your professional life. And when you are doing like that, know it for sure, you will get the blessings of God. And all around you people, the people will start liking you. Because those who are devoted to God, God's grace will make them completely free from all problems. Thank you.
Maharaj, next question is from Sonu. They are asking, Pranam Maharaj, I would like to know if Hindu mythology was created out of various tattva like Shiva or Vishnu or Brahma or Durga. Please guide.
It's true. See that the mythology, actually it is not only that, it is sometimes the mythology means the truth is there, spiritual truth. Now, how to embed that, to bring home to the people so that they accept it? Now, Upanishad, Ishavashyam idam sarvam, they say, everything is nothing but the consciousness, but the God. Now, here what they do through the mythology, through the story, sometimes it is historical and sometimes a little in a dramatic way. They will put that particular truth in such a way that people can accept it, people can understand it, love it, and feel encouraged to follow that. That is the mythology. The purpose of mythology is that. In the spiritual life, first is ritual. As the mundane life, we go to the schools to learn as a child. Like that, we go to the temple, we go to the other places, holy places, and that is called ritual. Then comes morality. When we are practicing ritual, then we hear in the temple itself, maybe the temple should arrange, every religious organization should arrange the why religion. So morality. Don't hate others, don't cheat others, don't do this, do that. Then you must control your mind, control your anger, control your lust. So that is called morality. And then ritual, then the morality, then mythology. The mythology again encourages people to follow some of the truths that the spirituality teaches. Then comes philosophy. Philosophy analyzes the whole thing. Why this and why that? That is philosophy. Then afterwards it comes spirituality. Then when the spirituality comes, you become the realized soul. You know that this is this. A student starts as a student, then that same student becomes the teacher of the same school. It is like that. Spirituality means realization of the truth which you were pursuing. Thank you. Thank you. Then let us recite from that and say the Shanti mantra. As usual, we will recite from the mantra to offer our pranam to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.